You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Good evening, I'm Melissa Bruner.
And I'm Ralph Hipp. Welcome in again this evening. This could be a do or die Tuesday night for the city of Topeka and its plans to purchase Heartland Park. Council members now are scheduled to vote at the meeting tonight. 13's Justin Cernsey has a preview of what we might expect. Justin?
Tonight's vote could be far different than December's 7-3 outcome, which initially allowed the city of Topeka to move forward with its plans of purchasing this racetrack, Heartland Park Topeka, with $5 million worth of star bonds and develop the area around it, both commercially and residentially, perhaps. But a petition to put the issue on a public ballot had been ruling and making the issue delayed a little longer, but that has since been ruled invalid by a state appeals court in late March. Now on to the city council. Gone are original yes votes from District 2's T.J. Brown, District 4's Denise Everhart, and District 8's Nathan Schmidt, replaced by all newcomers in the council, Sandra Clear, Jonathan Shum, and Jeff Cohen. All have been vocal about their displeasure in the city's plans to purchase the racetrack. District 4's Sylvia Ortiz, a council member as well, an original yes vote in that December 7-3 outcome, has now told city manager Jim Colson at last Tuesday's meeting that she could not vote in favor unless she sees the details of a contract with the current prospective buyer, Christopher Payne of Shelby LLC and Development. Last week, city manager Jim Colson hoped that 2 town hall meetings could provide some transparency, but the public seems to stay divided on the issue. We'll see if city council members are divided as well. If it fails, the issue is over, but if it is approved tonight by the city council, which is scheduled to be voted on, we could be hearing much more about it as the city moves on with their plans. We'll have a full recap tonight on 13 News at 10.
We will, Justin. Thank you. And follow him on Twitter, and you can find out even sooner than that. People in Manhattan are cleaning up tonight from the flash flooding causing problems last night, including the warning to avoid the Kansas State campus. 13's Monty Thompson shows us how the Little Apple has been busy drying out.
This year's dry spell came to a screeching halt Monday afternoon as over 5 inches of rain poured down on the Little Apple. By 7 p.m., rainfall had already reached 2.97 inches, a daily record that had not been broken since 1908.
We had a lot of water running down hills and collecting at the bottom of the hill, not having time to drain off like it normally would. So our main concern is cars passing through deep water. Cars are not meant to go through water, and sometimes the depth of that water is deceiving.
It didn't take long before Kansas State Police began issuing safety alerts, warning people to avoid campus due to the floodwaters. And while that may have been enough to keep students out of the classroom, it certainly wasn't enough to keep them out of the streets.
And in no time at all, roads in Manhattan became rivers for students looking to relieve the stress of upcoming finals.
And so you just look down the streets, and every college student just lined up, watching people drive by. You got people in kiddie pools with paddles going by, and just very creative people. So it was just a good time hanging out, creating memories.
By morning, most of the flood water had receded, leaving just puddles on select street corners. However, for those who witnessed the record-breaking storm, the memories won't fade with the rain.
I think this is one of those real carpe diem moments, It's either you stay inside and watch it, or you get outside and play in the rain.
Well, the weather we have seen clear up nicely from all that rainfall last night, although some people are already seeing rain tonight.
They are. We'll see if more rain is on the way. Jeremy Goodwin in the Weather Center with the outlook for tonight and early tomorrow. Jeremy?
Ralph and Melissa, we have heavy rain falling right now near Osage City, heading toward Topeka. This is how it looks in the Capitol Federal Live Storm Tracker. That rain moving north into the Carbondale area shortly, and then should reach Topeka within the next half an hour or so. Let's check out some of the time of arrivals on this. Carbondale, 6:06 p.m. Auburn, around 6:14. Heartland Park, about 6:20, and Clinton Lake, we're looking at 6:24 p.m. as an arrival time at Clinton Lake. Not a severe storm, but certainly heavy rain, and you can see it on the horizon looking outside from Menninger Hill from the Capitol Federal Sky Cam there. As we check out our next view from Huntoon Hill, you'll also see those darkening skies on the southwest horizon in Topeka, and we're expecting to see those clouds and the rain moving in shortly. So tonight, scattered storms are likely. Some of them could be heavy at times. Tomorrow, 74 with more rain. I'll have your complete 8-day forecast in just a few minutes.
And we'll talk about it more then. Jeremy, thank you. A newly unsealed document is charging a Topeka man with that conspiracy in a plot to bomb the Fort Riley military post. Alexander Blair had earlier been charged only with failing to tell authorities about John T. Booker's plans. The more serious conspiracy charge comes in a document that had been sealed since April 23rd. And this one accuses Blair of giving Booker money on March the 17th to rent a storage unit in Topeka, storing the components that Blair believed would be used to build that explosive device for the planned attack at Fort Riley.
Authorities say 2 people had to jump out a window to escape a South Topeka house fire this morning. Topeka fire officials say smoke detectors awoke the 2 people who lived at 3732 Southwest Twilight Drive around 3 a.m. Smoke and flames blocked their path to the door, so they got out through a window. The home's owner suffered burns to his hand and minor smoke inhalation.
Miracle. It's a miracle. If he wouldn't have opened the door, she'd have burned to death. Because when he opened the door, the flames went up to where he was and cut out from where she was. So it's not all set in yet.
Investigators have not determined the cause, but they do not suspect foul play. They lost an estimated more than $137,000 damage. Authorities say they continue investigating the death of a woman found unresponsive more than 2 weeks ago at Prairie Band Casino and Resort. Tribal police responded to the April 22nd incident. Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation officials say 26-year-old Samantha French was having trouble breathing and later died at a Topeka hospital. Today, the tribal chairperson told us there is very little new information in the case.
Really, I can't tell you much because it is still an ongoing investigation. I know that our police department is partnering with Jackson County District Attorney, and it is still an ongoing investigation. As far as I have been made aware, no charges have been filed, so that's really all I can tell you at this point.
The tribal police chief was not available for comment. French's unborn child also died.
A Topeka school bus driver is now facing some additional child pornography charges out of Texas. TPD arrested 31-year-old Kelly Shane Hooper Sunday on the Texas warrant. WIBW-Television in Waco reports that Hooper had fled to Kansas after learning of the investigation against him in Cordell County. Texas prosecutors added the 4 more child pornography counts against him yesterday. Hooper has a $50,000 fugitive from justice bond and will be extradited back to Cordell County in Texas to stand trial. Durham School Bus Services told us that Hooper had been hired in mid-April to drive routes for USD 501. They say he's been removed from duties until the investigation is finished. They go on to say they have a stringent hiring process, which includes background checks, and that they meet the state and federal mandates for school bus driver screening.
Uber quickly put its Kansas business in park following a vote from state lawmakers today. This was the pop-up posted on Uber's app moments after the House and Senate overwhelmingly voted to override Governor Brownback's veto of a bill restricting ride-sharing companies. The bill requires drivers to undergo background checks and have additional auto insurance. Supporters said it protects consumers, but this Uber message said Kansas just shut down Uber and Uber can no longer operate in Kansas. Governor Brownback issued a statement standing by his veto. He says Kansas should be known as a state that welcomes and embraces innovation and economic growth that comes with it, and overregulation harms the open and free marketplace.
Supporters were rallying today to celebrate foster families and raise awareness that more families are needed. The state's Department of Children and Families hosted this informal event along with May's National Foster Care Month. Foster moms and dads say taking on the roles bring challenges but many rewards.
You have a heart that loves kids, you should consider being a foster parent. There are more children that need to be loved. They have so much potential. They need to be encouraged, taught life skills, and we all have something that we can give.
If you believe you're interested in becoming a foster parent, you can find what's involved, and we have a link to that at WIBW.com.
Native American veterans are getting some help realizing their dream of homeownership.
We'll tell you how Prairie Band and the VA are helping when 13 News at 6 returns right after this.
You're watching 13 News at 6 with Melissa Bruner and Ralph Hipp. 13 News, Kansas News Leader. You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Native American veterans are getting help to realize their dreams of homeownership.
Prairie Band of Potawatomi Nation leaders were signing this memorandum of understanding today with the Department of Veterans Affairs. This allows eligible Native American veterans and their families to use the home loan benefits in the federal trust land. Organizers say the document reflects the commitment of both the organizations to provide housing for Native Americans.
It's important for Native American veterans to have this because, for one, veterans in general struggle many times to find housing and permanent housing, longevity. But in particular, it's important for Native Americans because Native Americans have unique land status sometimes, and the land that they own is not fee land as most people understand it. It's tied up in the trust process.
He sort of considers it.
Following today's signing ceremony, veterans were visiting several booths with information on job opportunities and programs. Well, the break from the rain didn't last so long for some of us in northeast Kansas.
Some of those who missed out on the rain last night are getting their turn right now. Jeremy Goodwin has the latest on tonight's rain and who's in line.
This is your 13 weather forecast with Jeremy Goodwin.
We have a small shower that's popped up right over our Capitol Federal camera on Quinton Heights Hill. Here it is. You can see the raindrops coming down fairly heavily there as we look over toward the Kansas Expo Center. And we'll see more of this over the next hour and a half here in the capital city. As we check out the latest on the Capitol Federal Live Storm Tracker, look at that rain shower. Just popped up ahead of the larger system that's moving through. And you can see the storms extending down into parts of Osage County, Auburn, and southwest Shawnee County, Carbondale here in Osage County. This activity has all been moving northward, but that little lone storm popping up right there above our tower camera on Quinton Heights Hill. It's going to move toward downtown Topeka. So not raining in the entire city of Topeka just yet, but all of this rain will be moving in. Burlingame heavy rain right now. Melbourne heavy rain. Carbondale also seeing the heavy rain showers moving through. Not severe, but a decent downpour with this as it comes through. And it will have a little bit of lightning. Not expecting to see a widespread area of severe weather lightning with this, but certainly a heavy rain, at least for a little while, as the storm passes over. Here's our next view from Menninger Hill, looking southward into the storm. Not raining yet here on the north side of town. There's Wanamaker and the TV station right over here, I-70 and 470, where they come together in the west side of town. So not raining up here yet, but it will be shortly as the storm moves in. 80 in Topeka was the high today. We saw heavy rain move through Burlington and then moving into the Osage City area and now starting to reach up toward Heartland Park, Topeka, and we're going to see that rain continue up into the Holton area about an hour from now. Again, not severe, but a decent downpour expected with this as it moves through. And that temperature of 80 in Topeka will be much cooler next hour, probably 72 or 73 with the rain-cooled air. Mid-70s for Manhattan and Hiawatha, and the wind speeds are from the south and southeast, anywhere from 10 to about 15 miles per hour. Much colder out west. Look at Goodland, just 57 degrees right now, with widespread rain from Salina all the way to Goodland. After that very long, dry March we had, remember, it just wouldn't rain at all, it seemed like. Now we've got into April and it rained a lot in the early part of May. We've been seeing a lot of rain, and here's a cluster of heavy rain moving across the heart of northeast Kansas right now. Here's Supercast keeping the showers in place much of the night on and off, and then tomorrow afternoon this line of storms right there should be severe. A few damaging wind outbreaks and large hail are certainly possible with that, and then we have more storms on the way the next several days too. 63 tonight, 74 tomorrow, and storms continue through Saturday. Those could be severe on Saturday, and we'll have more on that coming up later on in the newscast.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeremy. The Emporia State Baseball's team soon takes a swing at their second round MIAA matchup. We'll hear from them coming up.
Also, the Shawnee Heights Thunderbirds have their new boys basketball coach. That story is headlining 13 Sports.
13 Sports with Chris Lilly.
Hello everyone, the Emporia State baseball team is gearing up for their second round matchup in the MIAA tournament against the Central Missouri Mules on Thursday.
Well, they're a special group. You know, for what we did last year, most of those guys are back, and we had an opportunity to go home 7 times, and they won 7 elimination games, and it got us an opportunity to play for the regional championship last year. And now we start off this year, didn't want to get to that 3rd game, but did the same thing. So they're kind of used to it. They're making me old in a hurry, but you know, we got 14 guys that are really good people doing the right things both on and off the field.
We're not done because, you know, our main goal is to get to regional and
to win conference and then win a regional and then go to Cary and do something cool there.
We have a lot of seniors. We've been there before last year, and then we played in that game this week. So we're confident in that. As long as we just compete, we'll be all right. Whatever happens, happens.
The Hornets have scored 421 runs, and their opponents have scored just 299. So what's the secret to their offense?
Just getting aggressive in counts, knowing what the situation is and not trying to do too much, and getting lucky and run into a few balls.
Well, we've got talented hitters all the way down. I don't think we have one weak spot in our lineup. And our approach at the plate is just driving runs and drive the baseball in gaps. So we've done a good job all the way through.
The Hornets have won 36 games this year and are the number 2 seed in the MIAA tournament, and they've had fun along the way.
It's been a blast. This group of guys is fun to be around, so it's been fun the whole way. We've had some adverse times, but we've gotten through it.
Fun. We got a great group of guys. These are my brothers, and we go to have them with them every day, and I wouldn't trade them for anybody.
The Shawnee Heights Thunderbirds boys basketball team has found its replacement for Sam Stroh. Steve Wallace will be the new head coach after spending last season as an assistant under the Kansas women's head basketball coach Bonnie Henriksen. Wallace previously served as the grad assistant for the Jayhawks from 2007 to 2009. Before that, he was at Piper High School in Kansas City. The Pirates went 32-13 in 2 seasons under him, and they went to the state tournament. Wallace has also been an assistant at Tennessee Tech. Wallace is replacing Stroh, who left for Lawrence Free State after coaching the Thunderbirds to a 36-9 record in 2 seasons. Shawnee Heights posted a 20-3 record last season and advanced to the Class 5A state tournament. Wallace is going to be introduced tomorrow evening. And for those of you that missed baseball, the Kansas City Royals are back in action tonight against the Cleveland Indians. First pitch is set for 7:10. Danny Salazar is 3-0 and looking for his 4th win for the Indians, while the Royals give the ball to Jason Vargas. Still no Lorenzo Cain as he's completing his suspension. He'll be back tomorrow. That's it for sports. Ralph and Melissa, back to you.
All right, the Royals appeared to be sluggish over the weekend. With a Monday off, we'll see how they do tonight.
We will, and we will also see what's in store as far as who might need the umbrella. Jeremy's back with us next.
This is your 13 weather forecast.
Take a live look from Menninger Hill off to the east, and you can see a thunderstorm moving through Topeka right now. Downtown Topeka on the horizon there, and then the Menninger Clock Tower in the center of your screen. This storm has the capability of nickel-sized hail, but the winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour look to be the greatest threat out of this storm. But a significant weather advisory that includes Shawnee County and also southern Jackson County. Zooming out, you can see more of this rain that extends down to the south across parts of southeast Kansas as well. But thunderstorms likely through the evening, and small hail and winds to 50 possible in Shawnee County and southern Jackson County the next few minutes.
Great. Thanks for joining us. Time to depart for a while, and Wheel of Fortune is next.
We'll see you at 10.
Bye-bye.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports on WIBW.com or follow WIBW on Twitter and Facebook. WIBW-TV, Heartland Regional Emmy Award for Evening Newscast.